The situation with burn permits can be quite confusing for landowners. One of the important things to know when it comes to winter burning is that you might indeed be in a situation where you do not need a burn permit from CAL FIRE to do a prescribed burn on private land. And a really important distinction is where you are in the state. So the state is broken up into these two zones, very simply called Zone A and Zone B, where Zone A is Southern California, where it very well may be that a permit is required regardless of the time of year. But in Zone B, especially in what I call the mountain counties, where the mixed conifer forest is, where the montane mixed evergreen forest is on the western slopes of the Sierra Nevada, so counties like El Dorado, Placer, Nevada, Plumas, Sierra, it does happen where in the wintertime we enter a season where burn permits are not required to do a prescribed burn on private land. And it's not always understood that we have this Zone A and Zone B partitioning. That's not always understood by the agencies that give out burn permits. So it's good to know this in advance. Of course, it's always good to check with at the local level with respect to permitting. But this is a reality where in Zone B during the winter period, presumably because conditions are not as hazardous, no permit is required. And I'm just talking about a permit from the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, also known as CAL FIRE. I'm not talking about a permit from the local air pollution control district, which usually is required, or at least some type of permit is required regardless of the time of year. So this is just referring to CAL FIRE burn permits. This is a very small broadcast burn that a landowner could do on their own. The size for this burn that I'm doing here is really only 1/10 of an acre. But you can imagine if I do several 1/10 acre burns like this, and I can actually cover quite a bit of ground over the course of a few days. The permitting for this would depend on the time of year. So at this particular time of year, this is the fall, this does require a permit from CAL FIRE. When it's later on during open burning, a landowner can do this burn without a permit. A permit may be required by the air quality district, depends on what district you are. In this particular area, a very simple permit is required because it's larger than a 4x4 foot pile. The emissions are far less than what would trigger a full-on smoke management plan. That would be a fair bit more work, but the emissions here are far less than what would trigger that more developed plan. So it's a pretty straightforward actually approach, especially in the wintertime when you're in open burning season. There's no permit from CAL FIRE in I should say in many counties, in many northern counties, but there is often a permit that would be involved from the local air pollution control district.